Shavua Tov, everyone. We are now entered the 9 days. And technically Tisha B'Av was supposed to be on Shabbat. When it falls on Shabbat, it's postponed to Sunday. So the mornings is not as difficult like it's supposed to be because it's postponed. Like women that usually have to fast, so there's more lenient rules to them and some other rules. Even for the Sfaradim, it's even much easier this year, the easiest it can get, because once it's postponed, most of the morning halachot and customs are on the week that Tisha B'Av falls in it. So if it falls on Wednesday, from Saturday night until Wednesday night, until Thursday night, when it's over, that's when we take showers with cold water. Some people don't take at all. And no laundry, not wearing new clothes after laundry. And no haircuts, no shaving. But this year, there's really no Shavua Shechal Bo. Ashkenazim already started from Rosh Chodesh Av, which is today. If Shabbat is Shabbat, so from today really. All 10 days, they don't shave. The Ashkenazim start not to shave and haircut from the 3 weeks, most of them. So there's different customs. As you know, there's a difference between a minhag and halacha. This is most of the mornings is customs. That's why it's different, because in the Gemara there's few opinions. Every nationality adopted some different rules from the Talmud. The idea is that we all have to cry for the temple, for the Bet HaMikdash. And today, I said, we have to make a special day, if it was up to me, a special mourning days besides the 3 weeks, to cry that we don't know how to mourn the destruction of the temple. For that, we need a special mourning day. What does it mean? When Bet HaMikdash was destroyed, everyone was shocked. It was like disconnected from Hashem. Up to now, everyone was connected to Hashem. People come to Bet HaMikdash. It's like an express flight to heaven. Right away, you feel all the miracles that happen over there, all the music, the Leviim, they play the music. They have a choir, orchestra, with all the violin and the nevel and all these instruments. You know, all this beautiful Persian music, Arabic music, Middle Eastern music. Everyone gives them a lot of credit. Wow, what beautiful music they make. But really, it's all an imitation of what used to be in a time of Bet HaMikdash. Where do you think the Middle East learn all this sophisticated music? 60 people playing, 30 people playing, all these instruments that they play. It all come from Bet HaMikdash. Music the Leviim used to sing, it's like taking the soul out of the body. Person come over there, he goes out of Bet HaMikdash, people listen to the music, the best voices ever. The Mishnah, the Gemara describe what voices they had. Plus, a person made a sin, he comes to Bet HaMikdash, he sacrifices a goat, he see all the blood goes down to the Mizbeach and then goes to the lake, to the river, and a person think it was supposed to be me. I got away with that. I paid $300 for the goat in our days, and I got away with that. I was supposed to be instead of this goat. And made the people wake up to do tshuva. Plus, we think that if miracles happen, a person become religious. It's common sense. It happens once in a while. Like it used to be these movie stars. His name is Kirk Douglas. He's the father of the other actor, Michael Douglas. But there's a big difference between them. That the father is a Jew and the son is a Goy. Don't be surprised. There's many people with the Jewish last name as 100% Goyim. Even Cohen, Levy, Stern. Yeah, they're all Goyim. Because the mother is Goya, goes by the mother. So the last name doesn't mean anything. Also, Jewish DNAs doesn't mean anything. Like they made a survey in Spain and in Portugal. 1 out of 10 people from Spain and 1 out of 10 people from Portugal, they have Jewish DNA. Can we swear they're Jewish? No, there's a small chance that they are. Because remember, DNA, it's physical, it's the body. We don't care about the body. The body doesn't worth $2. A body of a human being worth $2 in a laboratory. Nobody cares about the body. What? Some salt, mineral, iron, water. What is the body? Slice of pizza. That's what it is. The soul, it's a divine soul. It's trillions. $1 trillion won't be enough to pay for soul. You know what it means? A spark of God? Try to evaluate it. Go to Sotheby's, say, I have something for sale. Here, a part of God himself, the creator of the world. Is any price someone can put on it? You know, any price you say, it's going to be an insult. What are you going to? It's an eternal thing. It's an amazing thing. We don't evaluate our soul, because when the soul is in the body, it's very limited. It's limited in hearing, limited in seeing, in memory. Once the soul comes out of the body, then you see the real power of the soul. Then you understand what does it mean, eternal, no limitation, divine, amazing. Then the soul, it's actually combined with all the reincarnations. It was in one body and another one and another one. It's all combined into one movie, from the beginning of the creation until the end. One person, all his lives adds together. Then it's much easier to see what's going on here. Without, it's very difficult to understand. So this Kirk Douglas was a Hollywood movie star. He made a lot of movies and many millions. And one day he had an airplane, his plane crashed, his private plane crashed. All the people died and he got saved. So what happened? He became religious. He started to check about God, Judaism. He became Shomer Shabbat. He grew a white beard. I think he was in his 80s almost. He put a big black yarmulke and started to come in Los Angeles to learn Gemara with the Orthodox rabbi. And in the end, he gave $10 million to Esha Torah. Please, smart Jew, finally. You don't find that many of them. They all give it to the United Negro Fund, to the sport, to the baseball committee, to NYU hospitals. Some of them are better than others. But to give it to Torah and to save souls, one in a blue moon, you find someone like this. That's what's going on. So, it's very rare that a person that has a miracle remember his miracle 2-3 days after. Usually after that, people tell him, it's coincidence. What, you're the only person who got saved from a plane crash? You know how many people got? That means God saved you? Why he didn't save the others? Same thing they said to the Holocaust survivors. Why are you religious so much? Wow, God saved me from the gas chambers. So right away they answer, yeah, he saved you. What about the other millions? How many Jews died in the Holocaust? Do you know? 6 million? Not true. Not true. Can I comfort you a little bit? Nobody told you that before. Not even 3 million. Big discount, no? 50% off. Not even 3 million. Why? Because the amount of intermarriage in Europe was so bad, almost 80% of the Jews married non-Jews and the kids were not Jewish, but they went to the gas chambers. Hitler didn't care that according to the Torah this is Goyim. He killed Goyim, millions of Goyim, one after the other, that he thought they're Jewish. Same thing today. If an anti-Semite would come to kill the Jews, you think he knows the laws? Oh no, the mother is not Jewish, so they not consider him Jewish, so leave him alone. No. Oh, you marry a Jew, your kids are, whatever they are, Americans, but you marry to a Jew, put them in. So really, he killed his own people. Technically, they come to Shamayim, these people, these goyim say, wow, we lost from both sides. We got killed like Jews, and we don't have a share to the world to come. That's really what happened. That's the damage of intermarriage. So, when the Bet HaMikdash was there were 10 miracles all the time. Someone who didn't have emunah, he used to come and see it. So it makes him strong. For how long? For a few days. Then he goes back to his sins. How do we know? If the sins would make people religious, how was it possible that in the time of the Talmud, when the second temple was still there, people were making sins and fighting against the rabbis, fighting against the Torah Shebe'al Peh, the oral Torah? How did people fight? What, you don't see every day, you go to Yerushalayim, you see a pillar of smoke come from all the sacrifices like a line, goes all the way up to Shamayim, and winds, strong winds, everything is moving, the trees, the smoke doesn't spread, stay straight, go like this. Clear miracles. This is what David HaMelech say in Tehillim, that all the kings of the Goyim, they heard a lot of noise, Yerushalayim. When they got there, they got shocked. Why? There was a fence, a wood fence, that it used to have a sign, up to here, everyone can come. From here on, only Jews. That's, by the way, what got the Greeks crazy, that they decided they must destroy the Bet HaMikdash. When they saw the sign, they said, what? He's better than me, this Yitzchak, this Moshe? I'm Antiochus, I'm a billionaire, I have a nice horse, I'm a mathematician, an athlete, I have muscles, all day I'm in a gym. This Jew like this, goes like this with his beard and holding books in his hand, he's better than me? Destroy them. They couldn't understand. It made them crazy. But they didn't want to kill them. They wanted to cancel their religion. It was different. The Greeks wanted to cancel their religion, to make us goyim. If you wanted to become a Greek, you actually got a VIP card, that you're one of the party. They wouldn't touch you. All you had to do is to write on the horn of your animal, I have no share in the God of Israel, and you're dismissed. They don't touch you, nothing. They don't touch, the opposite, they find you a job, they promote you, you're one of them, no problem. Just change your name, change your way you dress, show no signs that you connect to this religion, and we leave you alone. Most of the Jews, what do you think they did? They surrendered. It's not only in the time of the destruction of Bet HaMikdash. In the last 2,000 years, what do you think? You know how many Arabs are Jews? You know how many Jews in the Islamic countries they forced to become Muslims? Did you ever hear the story about the woman named Sulika in Morocco? You heard that story or not? No. You know, many people have questions that comes out of ignorance. Once you give them the answer, sometimes they feel embarrassed that they even asked the question. But many people ask, how is it possible that the religious people used to marry their children when they were 2, 3 years old? How can you marry a boy to a girl when they don't understand their name even? Right? So what do you think? You think really they took a boy and a girl and they made them a wedding between them? It was all a trick. What was the trick? The Goyim used to come and kidnap the women. They see a pretty Jewish girl, they take her, the Muslims. They come with the horses. From the time of Muhammad, that's what they did. Gangs coming, burning, doing all kinds of things. Even Rashi, just a few days ago, Rav Eliashiv passed away, the most important person in the world. On Thursday was the outside of Rashi. The biggest Jew in the world. Rashi was the biggest Jew in the world in his time. No coincidence. Fell on the same day. Rashi lived in Germany and then in France. And Rashi's mother, they came to kill her. And she went back to the wall. There was a big wall over there. And there was a big miracle. The wall was moving in. And she was hiding inside the wall. And until today, they have the wall over there with the bricks. You see how it is. It's amazing. It was a straight wall. You're looking over there. Until now, you can see pictures. This is where the mother of Rashi had the miracle. And later he was born. She was pregnant. Later he was born. And the rest is history. But the Muslims gave him a lot of hard time. Suffer from them. But about the women, now they come to kidnap the women. What happened? The only way they leave the girl is if the father ran out with ketubah. She's married already. Why? Because by them, you can marry them anytime you want. The father sell his daughter, finished. So because of that, they used to make not a real, it's fake marriage. But later, they asked them, you already married officially. Do you want to stay married or not? Sometimes it was a great shidduch, mishamayim. Yeah, I love him, I love her, everything fine. But if they don't like each other, once she become bat mitzvah, memayenet. She doesn't want, that's it, finished. But the interesting thing, like in Morocco, there was a girl named Sulika. So the prince, the Moroccan prince, the Muslim, he fell in love with her. So he came to her father and said, I want her to be my wife, she has to become Muslim. It's very interesting, you know. We, the Jews, that we are the only nation who received the book from God and everything else is fake. All these 80,000 religions who came after are total baloney. Total. Takes 5-10 minutes to prove every book is wrong. We have the truth. We sold God for 5 cents, almost each one of us. Now, and the last generation, and the one before, what happened? A Jew goes to a place, he meets Christine, forget about Hashem, forget about Tefillin, forget about Shabbat, forget about his parents, grandparents, everyone. He sells his entire religion for who knows who. When they meet a Jew and they want to marry him, they'll never marry him until he becomes Muslim, one of these fake religions. They won't agree. They will not agree. We will force you to marry us, but also we will force you to become Muslim, otherwise we won't marry you. But the Jew, I don't care, I'm not religious. You want to get married in the church? No problem. But your parents won't mind? Do they have a choice? I'm an adult, I make my own choices. This is what's happening today. 60, 70, 80% intermarriage. So this Sulika, they come to kidnap her. And no matter what, she refused to become Muslim. Refused. So they gave her an X amount of time, and they say, well, by this day, if you don't become Muslim, the king say, we will tie you to a horse, and we will drag you in the middle of town until you die, until you surrender. You cannot win against us. That's it. It's the king's order. So what happened? The day arrived. The prince, he doesn't want to lose his love. So he's begging her, come on, pretend, I don't really care, just pretend, pretend. Absolutely not, she said. You kill me, I don't care. So they tie her to a horse, and they drag her in the middle of town, and all these Muslims standing on line. They see, this is what's going to happen to a Jew who refused to become Muslim. So after dragging her on thorns, remember, there was not like today, you have a straight floor or everywhere you go. It was thorns and stones and rocks and dust. So they drag her in the middle of town. And after 10-15 minutes that she's all bleeding, it's more moments before she dies, she screams, stop! So, So she screamed, stop! So everyone was happy. Oh, we finally surrendered the Jewish spirit. So she asked for a safety pin. She said, can you give me a safety pin? You know, safety pin that you... Everyone was wondering, what safety pin now? So they're curious to see. So they ran, some woman brought here, safety pin. So she took the safety pin, and she had a skirt, but you know, when the horse was running, the skirt is flying with the wind. So it's not modest. So she stuck the skirt into her knees, into her skin, that the skirt won't fly like this, that they won't look at her not modest. And she said, now you can take me as much as you want. And they took her, and that was the end of it. Even now in Morocco, her grave is a holy site for them also. You go in Morocco, there's a holy Sulika. There's a grave over there. Yeah. Few rabbis there. The king of Morocco always makes sure to reserve the graves. Now, you know, one time they wanted to move one of the graves, and it was a big thing. He started to see that he has a curse. Everything he does, it's like a curse. He said, don't touch it. So the holy rabbis don't touch them. Until now, the graves over there are all safe. Even in Syria, look what's happening now in Syria. Do you know what holy Kabbalist rabbis are buried in Syria? The biggest, perhaps after the Ari, his student was Rabbi Chaim Vital. He's buried in Syria. And other ones. So in Syria. And who reserved his graves? Assad, the massive murderer. The Syrian community from Brooklyn, they went to meet him 3-4 years ago. And when they arrived to his place, they told him, we want to make a donation that you reserve the graves in the Jewish cemetery. He got insulted. You know, the Arab pride. You're going to come from America to pay us to reserve the rabbi's grave, the cemetery? Right away he said, no, I won't accept this. we take care of it. They cleaned, they fixed the place, they made roads. The place was, for many years, was empty. You know, so this is just to show you what's happening here. So going back to Bet HaMikdash, the history of the Bet HaMikdash was like this. The first empire who came to destroy Bet HaMikdash was Babylon. Bavel, the Babylonians. They destroyed the first temple. Then it was the kingdom of Persia, Hashverosh, Haman, they control. Later Koresh, Darius, all these famous kings. So they didn't touch Bet HaMikdash. The opposite, when Koresh came to power, he gave money. Koresh gave money, Ezra and Nehemiah came, and they built the Bet HaMikdash. They rebuilt. First one, King Shlomo HaMelech built. The Babylonians destroyed. Second one was destroyed by the Romans, but before the Romans were the Greeks. So the Greeks came, they burned, they stole, they robbed, they make all the oils impure. But really the two that destroyed Bet HaMikdash was the Babylonians and the Romans. And since then, 2,000 years almost, we're waiting for the third temple to be built. Once the third temple will be built, that's it. No one will destroy it. Because that's going to be after the arrival of Mashiach, the resurrection of the dead, all these great things that the prophet spoke about. Once it's going to come, that's it. The question is, are we going to be there to see it? That's the key question here. Every one of us, some of us keep, some of us less. The question is, are we going to be there? Are we going to see it? That's the question. Many Jews, they take it for granted. They take it for granted. They think that just because your mother is Jewish, you automatically get saved, you automatically see all the miracles that the prophet spoke about. And many of them don't understand that it's conditional. Just because your mother is Jewish, you're not automatically see Mashiach. Because we say every day in a prayer, we bring from the Navi, from the prophet, Uva leTzion Goel, leshave pesha beYaakov. The Savior come to the nation of Israel. To who? Who the Mashiach come for? For the soccer players who play on Shabbat and bring 20,000 people with a car, with the cigarettes and cursing and beating each other up? For them the Mashiach would come? When the Mashiach come, they will realize at that moment there will be no more Yetzer Hara in the world. When Mashiach will arrive, Hashem takes the Satan and slaughter him, the Gemara says. And we're going back to the days like Adam before the sin, when the Yetzer Hara was an external power, not internal. So everyone will realize when Mashiach comes, what a big embarrassment. But there will be a period of time, not right away. There will be a period of time. The Zohar say that they will make a war against Mashiach. They don't understand. They look at they see a rabbi come, and they think, oh, it's another rabbi. Oh, here is another big rabbi came, and supposedly he's the Mashiach. Eliyahu HaNavi came, and he said the salvation began. Let's go and fight against this rabbi. But they forget one thing. From that moment on, the Mashiach, he doesn't have a regular power like a human being like before. No. What? He gets a divine power. And the prophets and the Zohar, when they describe those days, he say he burns them with hevel piv. Doesn't have to go to a war, bring weapons, airplanes, tanks. He begins to say a few words, and flame of fire comes, and all the wicked people who come to fight against him, in 1 second, they all vanished. It's burning from his mouth, from his holy mouth. Then he said, who's a real Kohen, who's a Levi, who's a Jew, who's not a Jew. It's a big balagan here. Everything is messy. Don't know who is what. It's very difficult to know. We will know what Shevet we belong to. Then you know, oh, I'm from Shevet Shimon. Oh, I'm from Shevet Dan. We know who we came from. Right now, we don't know. We don't even know 100% if we're Jewish, bichlal. We have chazakah. It's go by certainty. But nobody knows. Nobody knows the history. Especially there was a king, Sancheriv. He messed up the whole world. Everyone was running away. Like in Syria now. Everyone is on a run. Some runs to Iraq. Some runs to Turkey, some runs to the desert. Everyone runs everywhere. And other nations coming in, terrorists coming in, everyone try to get power. The Kurdish now all of a sudden became powerful. They're making Kurdistan finally. You know, everyone's speaking about the torture of the Jewish people. There's no nation in the history, obviously, that suffer more than the Jews. There's no arguments about it. But there's another nation who suffers a lot. Everyone is against them. The Kurds, the Turks are against them. The Persians are against them. The Iraqi, Saddam, everyone is against them. Nobody cares about them in the world. Did you ever hear the United Nations make a vote of what they do to the Kurds? Did they care when Saddam was bombing thousands of them with chemical gas? Anyone ever heard in the news all over? Holocaust is happening, nobody cares. One Palestinian get killed, the whole world is shaking. Why? Because Hashem is sending us these problems. The Kurds, the Turks, one against the other, has nothing to do with us. Can be million dead in a day, the world won't care, like 1 or 2 Arabs get killed in Israel, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to shake us up, to wake us up. Everything that happens in Israel. There are a few things we have to understand. You know, when the tzaddikim lives in a generation, they are responsible. They're saving us from Holocaust, from tragedies, and they're also responsible for the sins. If there's a big rabbi and people make sins in a generation and he doesn't speak about it, unitfas be'avon ador, Hashem is holding him responsible, like the prophet. Like when there was the flood in the time of Noah, who did Hashem blame? Noah. Hashem said, it's Noah's fault that there was a flood and millions of people died. It's Noah's fault. Why? Noah was a tzaddik, the Torah says. One tzaddik in the world Noah was. What do you want from him? He built the teva 120 years, every day he has to run to Home Depot, come back. There was no cars. With his donkey, he carries something. You know, he puts star, he paint. 120 years he works from morning to night. What kind of boring life is this? In the end, after everyone asks him, tell me, what are you doing? You're making a museum here? You're building a cruise? What is it, a carnival cruise? We're going on a cruise in the ocean? What's going on here? Everyone was asking him what's going on. He said, no, soon it's going to be a flood. All the wicked people would die, and only some people will get saved with this. And the animals, and of course, they made fun of him. And in the end, when it happened, what happened? The prophet Yeshaya said, "V'amayim mei Noachem," and the water is the water of Noach. Why? Because he didn't pray for the people to make tshuva and to get saved. Also, if a tzaddik lives in town and someone dies there, first one who have to report about it in Shamayim is the tzaddik of this place. You live in a city X, a little boy got killed. In Shamayim they say, Mr. Rabbi Y, tell us what happened. What happened? How did it happen in your neighborhood? You have a share in it. Why? This is what happened, the famous story with Rav Moshe Feinstein. He lived in Lower East Side in Manhattan. And one time a person ran to his house. Rabbi, don't ask what just happened. One non-Jew kid ran after a Jewish kid, and a car came and hit the Jew and killed him. And his yarmulke is still on the floor in the middle of the road in Manhattan, in Lower East Side. So Rav Moshe Feinstein sitting in his room, he wasn't there. He said, it cannot be that the Jew died. Go and check. So, Rabbi, what's to check? The yarmulke is right there. Look, the Atzala, they just came. The yarmulke on the floor. What guy is walking with a yarmulke? Moshe Feinstein said, it cannot be. Go check. Go check. Don't argue. Go check. The person went down. He came back after a few minutes. I can't believe. How did you know that it wasn't the Jew who got killed? It's the other boy who got killed. But I saw yarmulke. It was obvious to me. So he said to him, because it cannot be that under my apartment, where I learned Torah all my life, from morning to night, non-stop, a little Jewish innocent boy would run and get killed by a car, right under me, where I learn and I gave my life for the Torah. It cannot be. The Torah has to protect at least 1 or 2 blocks here, if not the entire city. This is a very important thing. What happened in the end? Then, kids ran. The guy was running after the Jew. Maybe they had a fight or whatever. So because the Jewish kid ran, his yarmulke flew and he fell on the floor. And then a car came and he hit the guy. So the guy died, and next to him was the yarmulke of the Jew, but the Jew got away. This has happened in Lower East Side in Manhattan. Also, another story like this was with him. That one time, a woman came to him and she said, Rabbi, it was the war of Vietnam. In Vietnam, there were many missing soldiers, prisoners in Vietnam. Nobody knows until today where all of them are. Some of them were Jews. So one Jewish wife came to him. She said, Rabbi, my husband disappeared, this, that, okay. So after a few months, maybe a few years, she comes to him all crying, Rabbi, you messed up my life, you ruined my life, what happened? And she said to him, I came to you a few years ago, I told you that my husband disappeared, you gave me a letter, they gave me permission to get married. I got married, I have kids, my husband showed up from the war. You know what a tragedy, such a thing? The husband showed up, she has a letter from the rabbi, she can get married, the kids mamzerim. So he looked at her, he said, impossible, I never gave you this letter. She said, Rabbi, is your signature here? He said, it's forged, it's not mine. She insists, he insists, back and forth. Then he said, you're lying. He was a very humble person, very big tzaddik. Then she said, okay, forgive me, you're right, I'm lying. Kicked her out. So his shamash, the helper, said, how did you know? It's fears. Hundreds of people come to you every week. Thousands of people come every month. Many years back. I don't remember people who were here yesterday. How did you know for sure he didn't give her the letter? So he said to him, it cannot be that we give our life to serve the public, to help them with Hashem, with the Torah. We give all my time, I have such headache from all this public coming back and forth. Give all my life, not for money, not for anything, and Hashem will make me do such a tragedy with my own hands. Cannot be. There's a special promise in the Torah that we are protected. Speaking about a case like this, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, the chief rabbi of the Sfaradim in the world, one time there was a reporter from the secular newspaper in Israel. She wanted to show that the rabbis pretend that they know what they do, but they're not always correct. So she decided to have a scoop in a newspaper. Wow, a headline. See, the rabbi allowed me to get married and my husband is still alive. There was a war in Israel, Yom Kippur War. What was it, 1973, many years ago. Today is about 92, bli ayin hara, so we're talking about, 35. So it was in his 50s. So she comes to him, she say, here's witnesses that say my husband disappeared and he died, they saw him dead, So after hearing all the testimonies, which was all fake, he gave her a letter that she's permitted to get married. Otherwise, she's stuck for the rest of her life. They don't know where her husband is. That's it. She can never get married. Cannot marry a woman if you don't know where her husband is. Maybe he ran away. Maybe he took advantage on a war to go to a different country. There's no way. Even in September 11, only one woman got permission to get married. That there was very strong testimony that her husband died in the 90-something floor. All the other 10 or 11 women, that's it. Nobody knows where the husband is, that's it. And even DNA doesn't help. Especially now when I saw that there's a way to fake DNA. Do you know it? There's a way to fake DNA. Reuven was the murderer, you can plant the DNA of Shimon over there and pretend that he was the murderer. There's a way to do it. I was in San Diego, I became friendly with a judge over there, we spoke about it, and even he heard it. It's an Israeli invention. There's a way to replace DNA. You know what it means? That if it's gonna become famous, all the cases that they convicted people with DNA, it's all will be questionable. Every lawyer will come and say, how do you know my client is not there when someone did it? Even though it's 1 to 1,000, 1 to 1,000,000. It's already a reasonable doubt. Or not, I don't know. Anyway, so she got the letter, she went out. Remember, there was no cell phone. There was some rotary phone, and pay phone, rotary. So she put, in Israel, it used to be a simonim with hole in the middle. Most of you are young, but there was you have to put an asimon. We put it in, she called the newspaper. She's looking for her husband who was working with her in a newspaper. Both of them reporters. So the person over there said, who wants him? He said, it's his wife. I'm very sorry to tell you that 5 minutes ago we just were announced that he got killed in an accident. The moment she came out with this letter that she's permitted to get married, he had an accident and he died. She came to fool him. Hashem protected his reputation. It would be a disaster. They put it in a newspaper. The chief rabbi of the Beit Din of the Jewish court permitted a woman that her husband walked next to her in a newspaper to get married. You know what the disaster would be? Even though it was false testimonies and people stood there and lied, it was all a conspiracy. But that's what happened. When you really do it l'shem shamayim, kosher rabbi, Hashem protects. Other ones, the opposite. Hashem brings all the corruption eventually up that the whole world will see it. Depend who you are. Just because you have a yarmulke, it's $5 and a beard is for free, doesn't mean you're kosher. You know? So this is it. So now, after the destruction, first of all, you should know that the first temple was in a much higher level than the second temple. Same thing, the commandments. The first 10 commandments that Moshe broke was in a much higher level than the second ones. The first one was 100% divine made. Made in heaven. Everything. The boards, the writing, everything from Hashem. The second one, Hashem said to Moshe, go prepare the templates, and then I will write the 10 commandments on it. But he had to go and prepare it. And that's how Moshe became wealthy. The pieces from the 10 commandments was so valuable. Even today, if something like this would come to the world, every little crumb from the first 10 commandments will be $1 million. A page from the Rambam from 900 years ago was found in a handwriting with a feather, with many holes in it, was sold in Manhattan in a public auction for $1 million. One page of the Rambam. You know how many thousands of pages like this you have buried in the Vatican? And Rambam is only one out of thousands. There's billions, trillions of dollars are buried 8 floors under the Vatican. All the Jewish treasures, include the menorah of Bet HaMikdash, other things of the Bet HaMikdash are all hidden. And even when you go to Rome, you have the gate, the Victory Gate, and show Titus and the Hebrew slaves bringing all the treasures of Bet HaMikdash to Rome. And it's all over there. 100%. But when the Mashiach comes, of course, everything will return to its place. The main problem when we don't have Bet HaMikdash is not the actual sacrifices. Why? Because the Torah says once there is no Bet HaMikdash, the sacrifices are automatically replaced with prayers. V'neshalma parim sfatenu. We pay the cows with our lips. So it's easier. It's cheaper, no? What's better? To take a cow, $5,000 to Bet HaMikdash in Sukkot, you need 70 cows. Each one, a cow costs today about $5,000. Very big. Multiply by 70 every year, it's a lot of money. Much easier to come to synagogue, lulav, etrog for free, a little bit air conditioned, you know, and everyone's Hoshana, much easier, no? All these sacrifices, you know what an expense it is? So the sacrifices, no, so we do prayers instead. We have Korban Musaf, now we have Tfilat Musaf. We have Korban Shachrit, Tamid Shel Shachrit, Tamid Shel Ben Arbaim, so we have Shachrit and Mincha. And later Arvit came. So everything was replaced with prayers. So what is really the problem? The Shechina, that's what Kadosh Baruch Hu say. עשו לי משכן ושכנתי בתוכם. Not inside the temple. Once you make it, I'm in the heart of every Jew. This is what we don't have. We don't have it. The שלושה regalim, the 3 festivals that everyone went to Yerushalayim, all men from Bar Mitzvah and older, all the fathers with their children, everyone, millions of people coming to Yerushalayim, all over the mountains of Yerushalayim, beautiful atmosphere. They have a fair, everyone comes, sell merchandise, such holidays, something like this never seen in history anywhere else, only in the time of the first and the second Bet HaMikdash. Once they destroyed the Bet HaMikdash, the price of the gold in the world went down that day in the market 50%. Just from the amount of gold they took out of the first Bet HaMikdash, the Babylonians. Took them 2 days. 2 days, they destroyed it on Tisha B'Av, but they really arrived there 2 days earlier. And it took them 2 days before they burned the place to peel all the boards of gold from the walls of Bet HaMikdash. In hundreds of people to carry it. So much gold it was there, such glory. The price of the gold, all of a sudden the world has so much more gold. The price of the gold, imagine now they find 100 tons of gold somewhere in the ocean. What would happen to the price of the world? Wow, such an amount of gold was found, tons of gold, it would drop down the price in the market. Just like if you find all of a sudden wells in some countries of oil, tons, unlimited amount of oil, it would bring down the price, especially if it's not going to be in the Arab country. The Gemara says, yeah, because the Arabs, they control the oil, they do whatever they want. It's like monopoly. But if another country will have it, then it's going to come to open markets. It will bring down the price. The Gemara says every generation that the Beit HaMikdash was not built, the people of that generation are directly responsible for it not being built, like they destroy it. Which means it's me, it's you, it's them, it's everyone, every one of us. If we had the merit, Beit HaMikdash would be built. Hashem incentive is to build Beit HaMikdash. When Hashem destroyed Beit HaMikdash, this is what he said to us. I threw my anger on stones, on rocks, and on wood. Instead of throwing it on you, I threw it on my house and destroyed it. Destroyed the house of Beit HaMikdash. Be'ezrat Hashem, we should know that now we are in the middle of the 3 weeks, and soon Tisha B'Av is going to come. The idea is not just to fast. Some people fast, goyim, atheists, worshipping idols, and they still fast. The Muslim fast Ramadan, 40 days now, started a few days ago. It's not an obligation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't care if they fast or not. Technically, they're wasting their energy. But some people that are not religious, they fast for medical reasons. It's good. It's creating some new blood. It's good for the diet sometimes, etc. So the fasting, not everyone is suffering from the fasting. Especially some people go to sleep almost all day, they don't feel the fast. Or they take pills, they have special pills. What is really the incentive of these days? What's going on here? The Rambam say, if we fast and we cry and we don't do tshuva, it's worthless. The whole idea of the the 5 days of fast that we have throughout the year is that every Jew will have a broken heart. You sit on the floor, you wear shoes that are not leather, you have the 5 tortures that the Torah described, but it's not the point. The point is that a person would say, you know what, I'm sitting here on the floor crying for Beit HaMikdash, and it's my fault that there's no Beit HaMikdash. Some people come, no, when it's going to be over, that I can go back to my business. Someone who goes and work in that day, the Gemara says, doesn't see siman bracha le'olam. You make $1 million on Tisha B'Av, you never see any blessing in this money. So what's the point? Same thing Purim. Some days in the year, it's not, the Torah didn't say you're not allowed to work. It's tradition. You go and work, there's no bracha. You're wasting your time. It's like Friday, 2 hours before Shabbat, he's still in the business. Whatever he's going to sell, fine, you make money, it's only an illusion. He comes from here, he goes from there. And if you work on Shabbat, not only there's no bracha in the money, for every penny you're going to pay such a price. You have no idea how expensive this money that you're making will cost you. So what's the point? What? The person comes, he thinks he makes money, in the end he's going to lose 100 times more and still get a punishment? Who wants to make money on a day knowing in the end Hashem will make him pay for every penny he took? And he will never see bracha in it. There's no way in the world that a person would violate the foundation, the covenant, the eternal covenant that Hashem made with us. We violate it on Shabbat, drive to the business, to the mall, do shopping, prepare, meetings, whatever you do. There's no way in a history that a person will benefit from rebelling against the creator of the world. Logically, we all understand it. Everyone who believes in Hashem, everyone knows there is a God here, and He made this agreement with us called Shabbat. In our head, we understand. But some of us still do it. I have people, they're big believers. You should see, they even give speeches to their friends of what they hear from my lecture, Torah and Science. They write it down, and they argue with friends, and they make them Shomer Shabbat, but they still drive on Shabbat. I get emails from people like this. Please don't get upset at me, I'm still not a Shomer Shabbat fully. Which means they go to war. But I make my friend Shomer Shabbat, my cousin, this, but he's still violating Shabbat. I used to have lectures in Queens. There was this Yemenite guy from Brooklyn. He lived in Queens, then he moved to Brooklyn. So he said to me, listen, I'm going to bring you all the secular people you need to make them religious. But oti azov, me, you leave me alone. If you get too much on my nerve, I don't continue. I'm thinking to myself, now I have more incentive to make him. Every time I try, he was warning me, listen, this is going to be the last lecture. But you know how it is. He was listening, he was standing on the side, more and more people becoming religious, and I say to myself, cannot be that a person who brings so many Jews and they become Shomer Shabbat one after the other will die like this. Then after a few years, I didn't see him. One day I went to Brooklyn, 2 o'clock at night, to do some shopping for Shabbat in a vegetable market. I met him by the register with the kippah. I said, oh, so you Shomer Shabbat in the end. Baruch Hashem. I didn't think it's possible that after you bring all these people, you die like a goy. And he became Shomer Shabbat. Sometimes it takes time, but the problem is, who promised you have the time? He got lucky. How many people was planning one day I'll be religious and they died before? Also, there's another common mistake. You know, we had many Holocausts and pogroms, one after the other. Sometimes you hear rabbis, I don't know where they get, what's their source is. They say, everyone who got killed because he's a Jew is met al Kiddush Hashem and go directly to heaven. The answer is wrong. It's not true. If someone kill you because you're a Jew, because he saw Star David, or like now they had in Bulgaria, that they blew up the bus because they know it's Israelis, or in a Holocaust, or whether it's religious Jew or secular Jew, they kill him because he's a Jew, it's true. He's paying the price for following the nation of Hashem. Yeah, but it doesn't mean met al Kiddush Hashem. Met al Kiddush Hashem, die while he sanctified the name of Hashem, means that the Goy comes and say to you, make a Gilui Arayot, if not I kill you. Bow down to this idol, if not I'll kill you. Bow down to this cross and declare that you're living Judaism, if not I'll kill you. And he say, no, kill me, Shema Israel, and he kill you, that's called Mela Kiddush Hashem. I walk on the street, someone saw you with your earring, Itzik, oh, it's a Jew, and he shot you. Hashem wanted you to leave this world, so he sent this Muhammad, he heard Itzik, and he shot you, or put the bomb in the things.
What about the soldiers?
Soldiers is a different story. Depend also what soldiers. I know what I'm saying, some of you may not like, but the truth sometimes hurts. As a former Israeli soldier, that I know exactly how the system works from inside and outside, I promise you that 99% of the soldiers are not interested to join the army. They just don't have a choice. You're not joining the army, you go to jail. Take 100 Israelis when they're 18. Tell them, what do you prefer? To be an athlete, to go right away to university, to go right away to business, or to give 3 years of your life to become a slave and they torture you and abuse you and put you down and who knows what, take your liberty. How many would say, I want to be a patriot, I want to save my nation, I want to protect the border of Israel? 1 out of 100. It's usually the kibbutz srugot, I don't know if they call them modern Orthodox, I don't know how they call themselves, but it's called kibbutz srugot, dati leumi, that's really their expression. Even Americans, they leave everything, they leave university, they leave the millions of dollars in the business of their parents, and they go and join the army, really how to protect Israel, but it's only come from religious reasons. Without religion, who would do it? Leave America, leave New York, leave his business, and go to fight for Israel. It's really come because they believe it's the Holy Land, we have to give our life for it. Which is also not correct. Because the life of a person is more important than the holiness of the land. I have a whole lecture in my website about it. There are 3 different kinds of holiness. The holiness of life, the holiness of the Holy Land, and the holiness of Shabbat. Many people think, the holiness of the land is the most important. That's like the Datim Leumim. They give their life for the land, knowing they're going to get killed. They know. Even they go to very dangerous places. They live 5 steps away from all the Ahmedim and Muhammadim of the Hamas in Gaza. They know it's just a matter of time until they attack us. They're not dumb. They know how dangerous it is. But they say, we'll give our life. That's what we have to do with our Kiddush Hashem. But really, according to the Torah, the holiness of the life is more important than the holiness of the land. So if we know we get the land, but we're going to have to give so many people to die for it, we're not allowed to give life. The life of a Jew is a whole world. And if it's 1,000, and if it's 10,000, there's nothing to talk about. So it's more important. So if we have to give up some land in order for us to make peace, even for 20 years, no bloodshed for 20 years, and there is some United Nations, Americans, borders, all kinds of things. Supposedly, if there is a way to make peace, it's worth to give the land than to spare life of people. Then what comes after that? The holiness of life. We have holiness of Shabbat. Which one is more important? Holiness of Shabbat or holiness of life? We have a rule, pikuach nefesh doche Shabbat. Life risk, postpone Shabbat right now. A woman has to give birth. You don't take her to the hospital with a car, she'll die. Her and the baby. So what happened? You drive on Shabbat, it's mitzvah. Once you get to the hospital, you're not allowed to put your car off. Hey, there's still my Mercedes, Rabbi. No problem. They steal it. But you don't have permission to violate Shabbat. The holiness of the Mercedes is not more important than the holiness of Shabbat. But the holiness of life, supposedly it's more important than the holiness of Shabbat. That's why you're allowed to violate Shabbat. The answer is wrong. The holiness of Shabbat is the highest. More than the holiness of life. More. So why are we allowed to violate Shabbat? To save people. This is what the Gemara says. Chalel alav Shabbat achat. Violate one Shabbat to save his life. Kedei sheishmor Shabbatot arbe. That he will keep many Shabbats. One against 1,000. The 1,000 is more important. You violate one Shabbat now for an hour. Now, he has a chance to keep many Shabbatot. Even though most likely he would stay where he is. He's not going to become religious. If he's religious, there's no question. In the time of the Gemara, everyone was religious. So they told you, Chilul Shabbat, Pikuach Nefesh, Doche Shabbat. Why? Because he's going to keep many Shabbatot. Today, it's not so simple. There's very big rabbis who say that you're not allowed to violate Shabbat to save the life of Mechalel Shabbat. Not allowed. But why today we do it? Because we don't know, first of all, who's Mechalel Shabbat and who's not. Some people without kippah, they shomer Shabbat. Some people with kippah, Mechalel Shabbat. You know, for the respect of their parents, they go with peot and a hat and they Mechalel Shabbat. Just they don't want to ruin the reputation of the family, so they pretend that they are ultra-Orthodox. And some people, they take their yarmulke from the pocket when they do Birkat Hamazon, but they shomer Shabbat all their life. Go in Brooklyn, you see. They come, they take the yarmulke, this yarmulke will fly with the wind, you know, the light one. They come, mincha and arvit, mincha, hop, takes the yarmulke off from his pocket. Today I was in a place, I went to Brit. I arrived to the party, I see a guy walks with a thing of tefillin with no kippah. 2 steps before he comes to the shul, I say, I wonder if he's going to enter the shul without a kippah. 1, 3, 2, 1. He pulled up this white yarmulke, he puts it on and goes in. Chaz v'chalila, he will walk 10 steps in the parking lot with a kippah. Chaz v'chalila. Only one step before, puts it in and walk in. But shomer Shabbat. So how do you know? Chaz v'shalom, you find him laying there in the highway. You see him without kippah, no, but he's shomer Shabbat. So there's no way to know. And even if you know this person, you know him, that is not shomer Shabbat. How do you know? Maybe the moment the car hit him, he has 5 seconds that he was unconscious still, and he said, God, if you save me, I promise you I'll become religious. And that moment is already partial repentance. Someone like this, even if you are not allowed, for him now he made tshuva, you have to save him. So there's no way to know. So that's why there's no way to know, we have to do it. One time I had a guy came to us for Yom Kippur 15 years ago, an Israeli guy. So first he started to come to my lectures in Brooklyn. Those days I used to give lectures on Wednesday from 9 o'clock until the morning, sunrise. There's already people still coming in, out. People leave, more people come in. Like this all night. So this guy showed up, he started to become religious. We invited him for Yom Kippur, he came to Monsey. We told him, take your jacket off. If you didn't check it for Shatnez, you better pray without the jacket. It was his first steps. So then he said to me, you know what made me start to come to the lectures? So what's the point was he was a drug dealer. But he wasn't the head of the gang. He was one of the soldiers in the mafia. So, you know, every once in a while I get a call. Okay, there's a suitcase to bring from here to there, $10,000. From here to there, $20,000. You know, if you get caught, your life is over. But, you know, no one believes that he's going to get caught. So this is how he lived. He lives, he has money, young guy, in his 20s. One time, he went to Los Angeles. He's supposed to bring a suitcase from Los Angeles to New York. But in those days, it wasn't like today, security, every little thing, take your shoes. You know, before September 11, things was easy. They used to smuggle it in the suitcase in the plane. So he was supposed to get back on a plane. He got a call, listen, we're thinking. Someone told about us, you cannot come with a plane. It's very dangerous, you have to take buses. You have to take buses from Los Angeles to New York. But you have to replace one bus after the other. So he's coming with buses. I think he arrived to Pennsylvania or something like that. Now he has to take a different bus to New York. He gets on a bus. The bus begins to go. Oh, FBI closed the road. They get on a bus. Now he's sitting the last row on the bus on the left. The last one. In suitcase with 50,000 pills, ecstasy in his suitcase. 40 years in prison if they catch him. Under his right there on the bottom of the bus. I don't have to tell you what happened when he saw the car. He was sure they come for him. His heart was going 200. Sweating like crazy. There's no way to run. In the end of the bus, you sit next to the door. Maybe you try to run, do something. Stuck there. So they go with flashlights. Everyone ID. They go from one to the other. They check names. So they come in. So now he comes to him. He said, what do you got there in a bag? He said, my personal stuff. He said, open it up. So he gets up, you know, he has to do it slow now. Now he's telling me the story. When I bent down and I picked up the suitcase, I'm bringing it on the chair. All I have to do is now open the zipper, go like this, and my life is over. And I'm shaking like this, sweating like crazy, and I say, Hashem, I promise you, get me out of here. All my life I give for you. This is what he had in his mind. In the hospital, everyone is religious. I always say. The goyim run to me. I go to the hospital. Rabbi, can you say a blessing for my father? Who is he? Richie, the son of Tony. No problem. Come say bracha. You can. You say bracha for him. רפואה שלמה, מי שברך יברך את ריצ'י בן טוני. What can you do? So anyway, now he's about to turn it on. Another FBI got on a bus. We got him. He told him, you're good. And turned around and ran quickly. Okay, you're good. Ran away, that's it. So he said, now he started to cry. I never forget it. I was sitting in my deck 1 o'clock at night after the praise of the night, Yom Kippur. He's crying. All the pressure came out. So I said, okay, I hope you never forget these miracles that Hashem did to you. What happened later? One day he comes to the lecture with another girl, Israeli guy, met an Israeli girl. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I smell something is fishy, but he said, no, she heard the lecture, she shomer Shabbat, is okay. Then he comes to me, Baruch Hashem, magia li mazal tov, say mazal tov, we're going to Israel to get married. And we come back. They go to Israel. 1 week before the wedding, he caught her doing something that nobody can believe. He canceled the wedding. All the money is gone of the preparation for the wedding. Now, his entire group, everyone got caught. The boss, the second boss, all the agents, all of them, FBI was listening to them for months, caught all of them. And he was lucky, he was in Israel getting married, so someone from Brooklyn called him, don't come, you're lucky. Don't ever come in America. You come here, you're finished. 3 months in Israel, they're offering him $200 a week to work. I was driving one day, make $20,000. Now, $200 a week. He went crazy. The greed for the money. 3 months, he's eating from his savings. Then he hired a lawyer in New York to check his record. I don't know how the lawyer didn't see. The lawyer told him, you're clean. There's no request on you for arrest, nothing. He arrived to Kennedy Airport. As soon as they saw him, FBI, handcuffs, put your hands, took him to federal prison. He got 6 years in prison. The day he came out of the prison, they put him with this brown pajama. 2 agents took him on a plane. I don't know how they have extra money. Escort him all the way to Israel. They don't get him on a plane and leave him. They go all the way to Israel, 3 airline tickets, $4,000, $5,000. They get to Israel, they open the handcuffs in Ben Gurion Airport with his brown pajama in front of all his Israelis over there. He walked over there, that's it. They don't ever dare to come to America. And what happened? 2 or 3 years later, after he went out of prison, I went to Israel, I see him. No yarmulke, no tzitzit, no Shabbat. That's what the Torah says, am kshe oref, stiff neck. Someone like this should have, on his knees, should run to the synagogue. After he came out of jail, say, Hashem, I got the point. But he went back to his nonsense. I don't know, maybe he's upset at Hashem. You know what the David HaMelech say? He said, איוולת אדם תסלף דרכו ועל השם יזעף ליבו. The stupidity of a person would turn him away from the way to the truth. And who does he blame? Always Hashem. Why I don't have this, why I don't have this, why Hashem owes me. Everyone here thinks, Hashem owes me. Why don't I have this? My friend is not keeping half of what I keep and he has so much. I keep so much, I have nothing. That's how people think. Some people are religious according to how much money their bank account has. Once it's on the way up, they're very religious. Some deal went bad. What happened, Moshe? I don't come to Shachrit, leave me alone. What? Business is not good. That's the biggest stupidity. What about the Torah? The Torah said, don't ever think that your situation here reflects who you are. You can be the most important thing in the world and you suffer all your life. You can be the biggest wicked person and enjoy every moment, eating with a spoon of gold. Who cares? It's only a blink of the eye. In the end, the final step, everyone, it's all going to be calculated. Din v'cheshbon. Cheshbon means math. Calculation. You know, it's like someone order merchandise, this, buying, selling. His store looks booming. One day, the supplier calls him, listen, you owe $500,000. You pay or we take away your store and we put you on the street. And then everyone say, wow, poor guy, he lost everything he has. Why? This is the way we are. This is what Rabbi Akiva says, the Mishnah. This world is like a grocery store. And the owner of the grocery store has a notebook. Like in Israel, they still have it. They write, Moshe, תרשום, 800 shekel. Next week, 1800 shekel. תרשום. One day, the owner of the store, what תרשום? I'm going bankrupt. Pay something. So, the Rabbi Akiva says, so, העולם הזה, the owner of the supermarket is called Chenvani. It's the owner of the grocery store. And he has a notebook. Everyone comes, takes whatever they want. No one's holding them. Take this, take olives, take cheese, bread, whatever. תרשום, he writes. One day he sends a collector. Like a credit card. You take. Then the bill arrives. Then the party begins. Interest, penalty. Don't be impressed by wicked people who has great life, supposedly. First of all, no one has great life. No one has happiness from their financial situation. Sometimes people that make it very good with money, they suffer more than ordinary people. Because an ordinary person, no, I make a few $1,000s a month, it's enough barely for my bills, that's it, I don't have the stress. I know I'm not going to be Donald Trump, I know I'm not going to be homeless on the street, I have what I need, I barely make it, better. The person who makes, his life is ups and down. Wow, now he made $1 million, then he lost $1 million, $2 million, up, down, this. And even if he has $100 million and he lost $100,000, he doesn't stop crying. What happened? Look at you. You lost so much weight, stress, the business killing me. What? You lost 1%. מרבה נכסים, מרבה דאגות. שלמה המלך said. Person that has a lot, he always worry. Now he has 10 stores. 10 stores. There's any moment in his life that he's not going to have a problem? Every moment a phone call will come from one of the store. Hey, Mr. X, Mr. Cohen, yeah, Muhammad didn't come to work today. What? Come? No, we don't know what to do. What's the code? How do you open the register? How do you make the deposit? This, supplier. He has to run. He runs here. Oh, there's a flood over there. Call the landlord, call here. IRS, audit, show us receipt, meeting the accountant. So much headache, and in the end, after 20 years in business, he comes and says, you know what, I just realized every year I was losing money. I know people like this. They live in illusion. In America, somehow you can stretch the illusion 6-7 years until you collapse. In Israel or other countries, you cannot live in illusion 6-7 years. The bank cuts you after a month or two. That's it. You go a little bit negative, right away, freeze your account, that's it. In Israel, you can only use your credit card if you have money in your checking account. It's not like here. A student came out of school, doesn't have $1. He owes $50,000 student loans, he get a $40,000 line of credit. What? What's going on here? Don't worry, the rich people will pay for him with Obama's help. That's going on here. Yeah, this is United States, the most corrupted country in the world. By the Arab country, everyone knows it's all bribe. You go, Turkish policeman, Mustafa, here, 50 franc, whatever it is, yalla, go. So it's all corrupted. This bribe, this, it's all bribe. That's it. It's a way of life. You go in Indian cop, pull you over, pull up $100, leave me alone. Okay, no problem. Over here, a policeman pulls you over. You're not gonna hey, take the car. Except if you, this boxer Tyson? He was driving a Ferrari 100 miles an hour in Midtown Tunnel, inside the tunnel. So they caught him. So he said to the policeman, it was $250,000 Ferrari. So he said to the cop, let's make a deal. Take the car, tell me your address, I send you the title, leave me alone. Take the car. I don't want now to lose my license. We have things like this. Then one day he had to sell his house, 60 bedrooms for $4 million. Cheaper than a house in Roslyn. 60 bedrooms, bigger than Hilton Hotel, his house. He needed cash today. They're not thinking smart, these people. You know, he has $1 million, he spent $1.5 million. He made $500 a week. By the time he gets to work, he finished on whiskey and alcohol and vodka, already $700. He comes to his wife, where is the food? What are we going to buy? No, you know, people don't use their head. But here in America, it's the only place in the world you hear commercials on the radio. Come, hurry up! The laws of bankruptcy are about to be changed. Come, take advantage before the last chance. Come, we'll help you to cheat your creditors. Legal. On the radio every 10 minutes. Nobody cares. Well, that's what's going on. Before we finish, and then maybe I give you some time for questions. Today, when we don't have Bet HaMikdash, the tzaddikim are keeping us alive. We just lost the biggest giant, Rav Elyashiv, who did not move from his stand between 60 to 70 years from morning to night every day. Everyone saw him sitting in the same, from morning to night. They put on the Israeli news that Lipa Schmelzer, the Hasidic singer, you know him, Lipa? The famous Hasidic singer. They brought him, the mayor of Modi'in, it's a city, religious city, he brought him to Rav Elyashiv's 98th birthday, 4 years ago, to sing for him a song that he made, like rhyme, in Yiddish. Now imagine, he's sitting, you're learning Gemara, they brought this Hasidic singer to sing, he sings for 5 minutes next to Rav Elyashiv, the world doesn't exist, he continued to learn. He doesn't even look at him. Then, he was whispering to the mayor something in his ear, so he was polite. He said, Amen ken yeh ratzon. All these prayers that he was making, he said quickly, Amen, and went back to learn. Not a smile, not a laugh, not doesn't look, nothing. The world doesn't exist. Now, let me tell you a story. We don't know who we lost. Most of the Jews do not understand who we lost. So, my cousin is a very big Talmid Chacham, but he's not old like him. His future is in front of him still. So he's teaching, he has hundreds of Talmidim, students, he teach them Gemara, this, very sophisticated Torah. And one of his Talmidim is a grandson of Rav Eliashiv, which means what we call in Hebrew Nin, fourth or fifth generation, something like that. He has already 7 generations in his life, 7. A grandson of a grandson, his son. Already 7 generations when you're 102 years old. And he got married probably when he was 15, 16. So you have to understand how it was. So he comes to my cousin, he said to him, give me a bracha, give me a blessing. So one of the students, the Talmidim, said to him, Rabbi, this is the grandson of Rav Eliashiv. So he said to him, you are the grandson of the biggest Rav in the world, you're coming to me for bracha? You have your grandfather. His bracha is 1 billion times better. So he said, okay. No, he said, well, okay, but I'm here next to you. What do I have to lose to ask for a bracha from you? So he said to him, okay, I'm giving you bracha, but I have one request. What? Tell us something about your grandfather that we don't know. So he said, listen good. He said to him, I'm now living by him 4 months. Helping him out, taking the garbage, whatever, bring some bread, whatever, from the grocery. I sleep there in a house, tiny apartment, tiny. You should see, they have in YouTube. Someone filmed him how he sits all night learning. 2 hours a night he slept, 2 hours a night, that's it. The rest of the day learning 22 hours a day. And his age. So he said, 4 months I live by him, not one word he told me. Didn't say one word to me. It's not in this world. His body here, but his soul is all the way up there with Moshe Rabbeinu. You understand what we're talking here about? This is we lost. There's few more like this in the world left. That's it. And one of the conditions before Bet HaMikdash will be rebuilt and the Mashiach would come, the Gemara say, it's a prophecy, that Ben David, the son of David, the Messiah, will not come until all the giants, righteous Rabbi, will disappear from the world. We have few left, that's it. Very few, less than 10 probably. That all of them 90 and older. 98, 101, these ages, 92. That's it. Few. Rav Wozner, Rav Kanievsky, Rav Ovadia Yosef, Rav Steinman, Rav Karelitz, maybe another 4 or 5. That's what's happening right in the world. Rav Auerbach, maybe I forgot few. But that's just about it. Few of them already passed away in the last few months. Few. And this is it. Now I just want to show you what does it mean when you are such a giant. It's not only that you know all the Torah. It's that you are an angel in your behavior. That's what's nice about it. I give you an example. One, Chazon Ish was one of the biggest rabbis in the last 100 years. He was learning with one big rabbi. He was young and the other rabbi was older. So one time the Chazon Ish came to this rabbi and said, Rabbi, we have to go visit someone in a hospital. He was an ordinary Jew. So the rabbi said, we have so much to learn. We're in the middle of all this learning. How we can leave everything and go for a few hours to a hospital to visit someone we hardly know? If we have to visit every Jew in a hospital, we'll never learn. He was surprised how Chazon Ish was a giant chacham, want to waste time now on going all the way and when you learn Torah in the highest level. So he told him, no, Rabbi, it's not the same. Of course, we're not going to be able to go to every sick person. But this person, his wife disrespecting him. She speaks not nice to him. She looks down at him. If everyone in town will hear that you, the biggest rabbi in Israel, came to visit him in the hospital, from now on, she's going to treat him like a king and will save a house in Israel before it's going to be divorced. As soon as he heard that, closed the Gemara. He went with him to the hospital. I don't have to tell you what happened. 2 hours later, the wife came all over Yerushalayim. Did you hear? All over. There was no news like today. Today, 2 minutes later, it's all over the internet. In the old days, she came around. I am the wife of Mr. Z, that the biggest Rav came to visit my husband. From now on, she treated her husband like a king. Why? Oh, all of a sudden, someone gave her husband some value. There was another case like this, that in Morocco, in Tunis, in Tunisia, there was Rabbi Balaish. That was his name. He was a very big Chacham. And one of the Tunisian Jews, you know, in Tunisia, you have the city of Jerba. They have a shul 2,000 years old. The Arabs were trying to blow it out like 2-3 years ago in Tunisia. And over there, there's a lot of Kohanim. Jerba, it's many Kohanim. Almost everyone is a Kohen. So the one Jew came to Rabbi Balaish. He said, I want to get divorced. That's it. I can't take it. He said, why you want to get divorced? He said, my wife is such a mess. I come home every day, toys on the floor. No, the house is not dirty, plates in the sink. How many times I told her, be neat, clean, make some order. Nothing helps. She's lazy. I'm tired of this. So he said, okay, come tomorrow at 1 o'clock and I arrange the get for you, the divorce. The morning he came to his wife. He said, today you have a special mission. What? You must make the house the biggest mess ever. Take all the blankets, take the pillow, throw on the floor, make sure all the yogurt, the milk, everything is spilled on the floor. Destroy the house. She said, well, what's wrong with you? She said, I'm telling you, it's very important. Make the house the biggest mess. Put some books on the couch, this. Make it a big mess. Plates on the floor, bread on everywhere. It messed up the whole house. This Jew came 1 o'clock. He tried to walk in. He can't walk from the dirt, from the mess. So he said, okay, come, let's sit and make it a get. He said, Rabbi, you know, on the second thought, maybe I should give it another chance. He saw the mess in the house. My wife is an angel compared to it, and he doesn't care. How can I want to divorce her for mess? Right away, he went back home. My wife, you're such a hard-working woman. I appreciate it. That's how they used to think about everyone. Rav Shach one day showed up in a yeshiva in Ponovich. He came to one young guy. He said to him, you probably the only one who can tell me here, where is this Gemara Rabbi Akiva Iger? There's some Rabbi Akiva Iger say, I don't remember where it is in a Talmud. So the boy say, yeah, of course, Rabbi, I know where it is. The boy comes, he takes the Gemara, he says, Rabbi, it's right here. Rav Shach was almost 100 years old, Rosh Yeshiva. He looks inside, he says, Baruch Hashem, it drove me crazy. I couldn't find it all day. Then after he left, his shamash, his name is Chaik, Sfaradi. He was serving him until now. He actually wrote Rav Shach in his will, every doubt you have about what I wanted, ask him. He knew all my secrets. This Chaik. So he came to him and said, Rabbi, what is this? You know this Rabbi Akiva Iger. You know, he fooled them, but you know. What was this whole show about? So he said, his roommates came to me yesterday and said that he's completely depressed and broken and he cannot learn Torah anymore. Why? He was going on a date with a girl and they were ready to get engaged. He's already in love with the girl. Wow, finally I found what I want. The last minute, the girl changed her mind and they don't want him. So he broke him completely. So when I heard that he's in bed, he doesn't want to learn, he's depressed, I thought to myself, how would I save this boy? So I asked his roommate, what Gemara I learned today, to make sure he knows. He cannot forget, it's today in the morning. So he told me, we learned this Gemara, this with Rabbi Akiva Iger. So I said, for sure he knows that. So he said, now when I came, old men like me come to the yeshiva from more than 2,000 people there, I came to him and I said, hey Moshe, where is this Gemara? And he got up and everyone looks. Well, the Rosh Yeshiva doesn't come in the middle. He came and he showed me he's going to make his name in Yerushalayim, in Bnei Brak, the biggest name. 2 weeks later, he was engaged with a better girl. You understand? They were thinking about other people. I live this busy schedule, old man, he comes like this. Where all this show to save him from depression? This is amazing. Amazing. That's what's happened when you think about others. Sometimes today there's a lot of people who knows a lot, but their mind is somewhere else. They're not feeling the pain of other people. Same Rav Shach, Erev Pesach. The whole world is burning chametz. Soon is Yom Tov. He went from Bnei Brak with a boy to a psychiatrist, psychologist in Yerushalayim to give him some medication to relieve from his stress that he had. Nobody believed that Rav Shach was standing in the grass outside, and they said, we saw Rav Shach. They came to the doctor, they said, we saw Rav Shach standing in your backyard. Rav Shach, 2 hours before Yom Tov by me, forget about it, cannot be. The biggest Rav in the world, he took this boy, and he said, don't worry, everyone is busy, they have children. I'm an old man, I don't have what to do. He left everything, he took him to the doctor, and the doctor later found out that it was true. He didn't want to say. If he would say to the doctor, we need to help this boy, is in emergency, the doctor would say, okay, Rabbi, I'm leaving everything and I come to Bnei Brak. But he didn't want to take advantage on him. He has wife, kids, it's not fair. So he went to him without telling him. He didn't know that he brought the boy. He thought that he sent the boy by himself. He brought the boy and he took him back. This is how these people were. You know, always thinking about others. This is like chesed. Not just to learn Torah and never practice it. To learn Torah and to live according to the Torah is much harder. I know a lot of people who knows a lot of Torah. They practice some of it. But things that are difficult, not always. But there are people who doesn't move an inch from the Torah. Those are the heroes. I will finish with one last thing. You know, the Gemara said there are 4 people who never made a sin in their entire life. Ever. Can you believe such thing? It's against all the rules. Because every tzaddik makes sins. En tzaddik asher ya'aseh tov velo yechta. The Torah say, cannot be unless if you're an angel. But there are 4 exceptions to the rule. Who are them? Ishai, the father of David HaMelech. Amram, the father of Moshe Rabbeinu. Binyamin, the son of Yaakov. And Kilav, the son of David. So the son of David and his father. And Moshe Rabbeinu's father Amram. And the son of Yaakov Avinu, Binyamin, brother of Yosef. 4. Let me ask you a question. In that case, why we don't say in Tfilat Shmona Esrei, Elokei Ishai, Elokei Amram, Elokei Binyamin, and Elokei Kilav? Avraham Avinu made mistakes? Yes. Yitzchak made mistakes? Yes. In Torah, Ramban said big things about their mistakes. Yaakov made mistakes? Yes. Hashem got angry at them? Yes. Moshe Rabbeinu made 5 mistakes in the Torah. Because of that he got punished? Yes. So why they became the biggest in the history? David HaMelech, the story, Bat-Sheva, this whole thing. David HaMelech, Neim Zmirot Israel. Yosef HaTzadik, made mistake, made few sins, yes. And what happened? Yosef HaTzadik. Binyamin, you hardly hear about him. Amram, no, you hear he was tzaddik, but nobody mentioned him in the tefillot. Kilav, Ishai was giving lecture to 10,000 people. So what's going on? So from here we learn, if someone lived all his life without a sin, and someone lived his life, made a lot of mitzvot, but made few sins, the one who made few sins is higher than the other one who didn't. Because if you don't do, you don't go into the fire, you don't succeed. What is it like? It's like you have a soccer team. 11 players are playing. And there are players who play all the time. So they make mistakes. They score to the wrong side. They make mistakes. But they do a lot of good things. Someone who sits on a bench, in his statistic, he doesn't show he made 1 mistake the entire season. Not that they sat on a bench. They were big tzaddikim. But their test in life wasn't anything like David HaMelech, like Moshe Rabbeinu. Test that they had, Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak, Yaakov, such big test every moment of their life. Here and there, fine. So 1% they didn't do 100%, but 99% was in the highest level. Better than someone who was, fine, don't make mistake, but didn't have the test that they had. So what do we see from here? It's not about you made or didn't make. It's about if you fulfilled your mission in life or not. That's why Avraham, everybody in the world knows about him. Ask a Muslim who's Amram, maybe few of them know. Ask them Binyamin, few of them know who he is. Ask them Ishai, probably nobody knows. Kilav, for sure nobody knows. You ask Muhammad, you know Ibrahim? Oh, Ibrahim. You know Yitzchak? Oh, you know Yaakov? Yeah. You know David? Read in a Hamas website. David HaMelech, peace be on him, they write. Yosef HaTzadik, peace be on him. They know, but nobody say Kilav, peace be on him. They don't know who he is. So you see, you know what it is. One rabbi, a Christian, called him, and they said that he took a Christian boy, took his blood to make matzot. I don't know how this nonsense ever started, but they play a whole thing about it in the media. The rabbi slaughtered the Christian boy, and he makes from his blood matzot. How can it be kosher, this matzot? So what happened? They took him to the trial, and the lawyer said to him, Your Honor, this rabbi, when he wants to deliver a letter, if he does it on his own, he doesn't use the post office, he take a stamp and rip it. Why? He doesn't want the post office to lose. So the judge said, come on, you really believe this nonsense? So the lawyer said, believe it or not, I don't know. But nobody says stories like this about me and you. Do you ever hear anyone say about you or me stories like this in town? Nobody makes stories like this about us. If people make stories like this about him, he probably somebody important. Then the lawyer said, you know what? Bring anyone from the market. Bring any Jewish woman, random. Send one of your soldiers here, your policemen. Bring any Jewish woman from the market. And make sure the policeman buy 2 eggs from the grocery on the way back. So the judge said, what is this? He said, that's important to prove that he's innocent. So the judge was curious. He said, hey, Chris, go buy a few eggs and bring some Jewish woman from the street. So he bring this Jewish woman, and the lawyer said to her, please, can you make me omelet? Here is a pot, here is this, whatever, just make us an omelet. So she was walking on the street, all of a sudden she came to the court, she has to cook an omelet. So she said, okay. So she took the eggs, she breaks the eggs, she goes, she check, like this, she said, oh, this one's not good. So he said, oh, stop it right there. So why did you say that this egg is not good? She said, there's a drop of blood. So why you cannot use it? She said, oh, it's not kosher, blood, we're not eating blood, it's against our religion. So you heard? One little tiny drop of blood, not kosher. The whole 5 liters of blood of this Christopher, it's 100% blood kosher, huh? Case was dismissed. True story, it happened in reality. So we had this big tzaddikim. Slowly, the world is empty now. Few more left. That's the bad news. The good news, Be'ezrat Hashem, now we are in a generation that will see Mashiach. And again, remember what I said. The question is if we're going to be there when it happens or not. Don't take it for granted. Just because you shomer Shabbat, there's no guarantee. Just because you come to shul 3 times a day and put tefillin, there's no guarantee. You still have to learn Torah. You have to clean your mouth. No curses, no lashon hara, no cheating in a business, no stealing. Mi ale be'ar Hashem neki kapayim uvar levav. Who would rise in the mountain of God in this most important day in history? Someone whose hand is clean from stealing, cheating, insurance fraud, all kinds of things. Sometimes you keep thousands of mitzvot. 1 or 2 will mess it up for you. You have to be very careful. And I'm speaking to myself, not to everyone. We have to always calculate what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. A great person always think every day what I'm doing. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef became who he is, you know why? Every night, before he falls asleep, he puts his pajama, and he goes to sleep and he says Shema. But before he puts his pajama, he stands for 5-10 minutes and he reviews everything he was learning today from morning to night. I learned this, I learned that page, Rashi, Tosfot, this, Maharsha. He repeats the whole quickly in his head. Everything I learned today, it's all like a puzzle. One time he already wore his pajama and he was about to sleep, then something bothered him. It's 1 o'clock at night. Okay, tomorrow you go over it. The world is not dead. Tomorrow you start your day with clarifying what you know. Got dressed again, took his pajama, got dressed again, started to learn 2 hours, the whole thing. Oh, now it's good. Oh, went back to sleep. Understand? When he was, before he was 20 years old, he broke his 2 legs. Both legs in cast. When he was a little kid, just had his bar mitzvah a few years ago. The biggest rabbi in Yerushalayim came to visit him in the hospital. He didn't know him. An old man come with his cane like this. I said, Rabbi, what are you doing? He said, I want to visit this boy Ovadia. I heard there's a boy here broke his legs. So they say to him, what do you have to do with this boy? Is your relative? No, I don't know him, never saw him. Just heard how he broke his legs. I decided I have to meet him. Why? Because I know it's going to be the biggest rabbi in the world one day. How do you know? You have a vision? He said, no, it's very simple. I heard that he went in yeshiva, he climbed on a ladder all the way to the top shelf, and he took a book, was standing on the ladder and learning the book, and then he was so deep in the Torah that he forgot that he's on a ladder. He started to walk with the book, and he fell from the ladder and broke his 2 legs. Someone like this, it's no question, is going to be the biggest rabbi in the world. This when he was a kid. And that's what happens. You don't become who you are if you sleep well and eat well and smoke your cigar and every week vacation. The mountains, this, Israel, Passover, Miami, Puerto Rico, Bahamas. We bought a house, deal on the beach. Why our children are not Talmidei Chachamim? Sure, Talmidei Chachamim. $300 shoes and you want them to be Talmidei Chachamim? $400 cash, they go to school before their bar mitzvah. No? So as his Rabbi, he cares that his Rabbi can hardly pay his rent. He makes more money than his Rabbi. How do you want him to respect him? Yes, that's what happened today. This is what killing us from inside is cancer. But Bezrat Hashem, there's also a lot of good things. But now Bezrat Hashem, take advantage on these 9 days. No meat, no wine. The most important thing is to do tshuva. To do tshuva. Very important. Bezrat Hashem, hopefully it will be the last Tisha B'Av, or maybe we'll get lucky, it won't be Tisha B'Av. It will turn into a holiday. Thank you very much, Rabbi. Thank you, Moshe. Thank you very much. I brought you some free CDs. Please take advantage. Very good, some new CDs I made.